this is gonna be a video where people are gonna leave and get mad at me because I'm a huge proponent of Web3 and you know, every time we get into these things, it's so polarizing that people just get so upset. I am looking forward to the Web3 space. I do want to see what's coming up from Star Atlas. It's a game that is on Solana blockchain. And the one thing I have to say about Star Atlas, beyond everything, beyond digital assets and NFTs and crypto, beyond all that, my first rule about creating games in the Web3 space is what, everyone? Game first. I have said this till I'm blue in the face with Star Atlas. Game first. Now, I do have to say this, that in a bear market, that in times where people were like at their heels, just like literally trying to just throw as much negativity at them as possible, they still built. There has to be something that's said about that. When in dark, hard times, all these developers at Star Atlas continued to build. Just let that sink in for a moment. I remember first becoming a Star Citizen backer. The amount of pushback from the community, from the gaming community, was absurdly large. Absurdly large. It'll never happen. You can't have this. There's no way that this is going to be a reality. Shit, we still get that with Star Citizen, right? But back in the day, that type of like just raw, unadulterated like pushback reminds me just of this. Like it is so ingrained in my mind when I was first a backer of Star Citizen, how many people were against it. When I started posting Star Citizen content on the channel, people were pissed. Why did you put Star Citizen on here? Scam, 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 scam. You still see that. You still see that. But back in those days, the amount of like unadulterated hate towards Star Citizen was off of the Richter scale. So what changed, DG? Why the difference, right? Why is Star Citizen still getting that kind of scammy thing from time to time for the clickbait? But why is it not as prevalent? Why are more people like, you know, maybe more positive about Star Citizen now than back in those days? Adoption. The amount of people that came to the title. That's it. That's it. Adoption, adoption, adoption. It is so important when you're creating a project that you get people on board that are believing in the same dream together. The more people that you get, the more likely that what you're building will be a success. The more you build in dark times where people are telling you to go F yourself and things will not happen for you, the more you build in those times and you try to ignore it and just keep building, the more successful you are going to be. This is exactly what Star Citizen did back in 2013, 14, 15, 16, and into 17. Those years were particularly rough, and there were so many haters. They outnumbered haters in Star Citizen. It was like 10 to 1. It was like 9 to 1. It's like what the economy is going to be. Don't get me started about the Star Citizen economy. I don't want to talk about it right now. But it was that was the ratio back in those days. It was 9 haters to 1 Star Citizen fan. Now I think we're getting more like a 50-50 split, more in terms of like maybe even 60-40. And I think that's because of adoption. Just me speculating on what makes these titles successful, but it's the amount of people that gravitate to it, that say, yes, I do believe in this. And really that's the key to any successful project. You know, seeing the building happen when it has its highest just pushback and they're still building. That's what Cloud Imperium did back in the day, and they still do. And you know, it's kind of eerie in a weird way. Being part of Star Atlas for over a year or so, talking about it, reporting on it, I can say what I feel inside without a doubt. And I'm not popular, trust me for saying this, and I don't care. I'm just going to share my feelings like I always do, is that I see the similarities being drawn here. I feel it. I feel like they built regardless. And they kept building. And that's good. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Regardless of what you think of crypto, regardless of what you think of NFTs, right? As a business model, as a business, as people trying to create something that have these dreams, continuing to build despite all the doubt and the hate, that's a positive thing. Well, let's see what we got here from Star Atlas.
Making trouble. Still, nothing. Now the other animals, they notice this. They start to move in. The jackals, the hyenas, bark.
Yeah, no, see, this seems very scripted, though. And this is the thing that gets me about Michael Wagner. And, you know, Michael Wagner actually followed me on X, man. And I'm still debating whether to follow. He's just going to be like, screw this guy. Michael Wagner followed me. And the reason why I was hesitant, we talked about it, is because of what happened with my friend, the Eradicator. And I mention this every time. And I apologize for people that have heard this speech before. But he copyright struck a friend of mine named the Eradicator, who only had like 12,000 subscribers. And I was upset. Eradicator was my friend. And I thought, what a douchey thing to do. You know, that somebody who's creating something would do that, especially since Erad's a friend. And what Erad said about Web3, you know, Erad wasn't as knowledgeable about Web3 as I am. He, you know, he's interested in the space a little bit, but at the same time, I don't think he's into it as I am. So some of the things that Erad said were not factual, right? Regardless, it was his opinion. And it just makes me feel like a CEO that would take the time to go after a dude on YouTube with 12,000 subscribers. It just seems really sketch, you know, to me. So I'm still trying to get over that. I want to be the bigger person and follow the dude back. I would love to have him on the show and ask him questions, but at the same time, I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a very interesting point in terms of like where I want to go with this. And you know, that's kind of crazy because there's actually content creators out there chomping at the bit to interview Michael. There's a lot of gravitas here, right? But I understand he's got to write this speech and he's trying to share his experiences, and I respect that. But at the same time, it just doesn't come off right in the same manner what he did to the Eradicator. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Let's continue. I am so sorry, but I'm just expressing my feelings, and let's just keep going.
Barking at him, laughing at him.
Maybe that's the story we tell 10 years from now or whatever, when this whole space was successful. And remember Star Atlas?
You know, if you've got Star Atlas and
listen, I am very loyal to my friend Starlet. If somebody was mean to you, I would stick up to you. Starlet says, it's time to move on from the incident. Ancient history now. You're right. I should be the bigger person and kind of move on. But on the other, I am also very family rooted and connected to friends and family. And I will fight for you, Starlet. You see what I'm saying? And so I won't let that go. I won't let that go because I remember those actions. And if somebody were to do that shit to you, Starlet, I would be fighting for you on your side. And I would mention it every fucking chance I could get. Every fucking chance. Because I remember how they treated you, Starlet. You see what I'm saying? So I don't forget my friends or family. I let people know what I feel are the ulterior motives or behind a person's actions. Actions speak louder than words. I am very loyal to my friends. You get where I'm coming from, Starlet? So I know I might sound like a broken record, but I think it is important to put that message out for my friends and family because I love them. You know? Yes. Forgiveness is part of a process, James, where eventually you walk away, right? Forgiveness is letting it go. Forgiveness is allowing yourself to let it go. Truly, that's a great thing. Forget but never forgive, James. Forgiveness, you do eventually have to do that no matter what, because it will eat you alive and kill you. You know what I'm saying, James? Just coming from an old guy. Just, my experiences, my opinions. But forgiveness is part of the process, bro. But usually it's you walking away from a situation. You know what I mean? You just have to forgive yourself for making it so big of a situation. So the forgiveness is usually comes where you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm forgiving it and I'm letting it go, right? But I like where James is coming from because it's coming from the heart. It's coming from familia, you know? And I don't know if Starlet's still here watching me rant about this, but I just wanted to get that to Starlet if she's still here, you know? And okay, all right, Starlet. It's because I love you. Because if somebody did something to you, I would stick up for you because I love you. You know what I'm saying, Starlet?
NFTs. Maybe look at listing them now.
It's the future is bleak. Andrew lays out everything. List, market, sell all my ships.
They nip his toes, and they eat the food that's in his domain. They do this, and they get bolder and bolder and closer until one day, that lion gets up and tears the shit out of everyone, runs like the wind, eats everything in his path. Because every once in a while, the lion has to show the jackals who he is.
I hope it's not too arcadey. Like, you know, I love the vibe of Unreal Engine 5. I love the physics and the smooth quality about Unreal Engine. I've always loved the physics, but at the same time, I hope it's not too arcadey. I gotta feel the feels when I'm flying, and the space battle has to be top notch. Like, let that fluidity, let that motion in Unreal Engine do what it does. But goddamn it, if it's too arcadey, no. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you got to have a level of realism in it also to keep connected. Welcome, Shrapnel Face. Welcome to the family, bro. But, like, you know, the smooth, fluid movement of Unreal Engine is by far the best. But goddamn, I want some realism too, you know? Red Bear says arcadey. You know, arcade, like a shooter, like a space shooter. I don't want this to be like a space shooter. I want this to be more like a flying experiences that gives you a little bit more of a simulator experience. Like if I had to draw back like an analogy to, I'd say like going in the Wayback Machine, like TIE Fighter, like X-Wing, like, you know, like Wing Commander, even though, you know, I mean, those are so old references, you know, a lot of people watching are like, what are those games? But like, you know, I want that, at least I want that kind of simulator vibe a little bit. And I don't want it to like pew, pew, pew arcadey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. Everspace is arcadey. Exactly, Mad Style. Mad Style, I love you. You're getting your button pushed, dude. Let's push his button right now. Mad Style's ours. Mad Style's ours. Mad Style and Aether, they're always like, Mad Style, Aether, and I think we're the same people. Right. They built a lot. They built a lot this year. That looks good. Some of these ships, man. Listen. Some of these ships, no lie, man. Whew. Some of these ships look good, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some of these ships really look good. Yeah, the audio is horrible. They've made improvements. Backspace is right. He says, I'll be real, as I posted this. Star Atlas looks good, but sounds terrible. I couldn't agree more with you, Backspace. I think they've done a lot of work in the audio department last year. Like towards the end, the last quarter of 23, they actually did upgrade a lot of their sounds. So like, I give them kudos for that. Cause like some of the sounds prior to quarter 3 and 4 of last year were just terrible. Like, oh my God. Really bad, but they did upgrade a few, you know. Yeah, I don't know, Starlet, how that went. It looks a bit arcadey, yeah. It looks a bit arcadey, but...
Hey, why are you walking away, bro? Come here. Come here.
I can handle a little bit, but if the whole experience feels arcadey,
First one. What is up, Captains and Cadets?
What's up?
It's our what?
It's our 100th video.
100th episode. High five.
I used to do that with Devin, man, back in the day, man. That brings back old memories. I used to get my son on here and play some games. What? What's this? What was that? Was there shill inserted in that, or was that like a fundraiser or something? What is this? What is this? What was that? I don't know what's going on here. I need to delve a little bit deeper. Oh! Oh, we saw this. Yeah, so they did a stress test back in the day. They just recently did one. Most of this we figured out were like botted. They were just trying to figure out how many entities they could put onto it. I don't know what the goal ended up being, but it was interesting. So they're doing a lot of work on the server side of things. It was loaded up with bots. They did one most recently to try and get as many gamers in there as they could recently, and Starlet was letting me know, but we don't have the results of that, so apologies. Maybe I'll investigate that. What's up, Troopa? Dude, that's what I'm gonna end up being. I'm gonna be this robot. I'm like this robot race right here. I'm gonna like just light myself up, man. I'm gonna be like my PC came alive, dude. Robot Nancy. Robot.
So I just engaged my warp drive. If you look at my speedometer, you'll see I just switched from meters per second.
Oh, I saw this. I think we saw it. Didn't we see this video?
So we're using a plugin called Worldscape to generate these planets. Whether we stick with it long term remains to be seen. There are a couple other promising projects in the work that look better to me. But
Pedro did wonders.
Either way, I am
Cloud
confident
Imperium.
that we will have full-size planets one way or another.
I know, just like you, Pepe. I know. Yeah, so listen, here's the thing I have to say about Star Atlas. First off, I do want to congratulate the devs and the teams over there for continuing to build during hard times and all the haters. So I would like to applaud them for that. Do we know if this is going to be the first very successful Web3 game? You know, I hope so. I mean, like, I think anybody that takes the time to really dive a little bit into this realizes that it's a real thing. I don't think this is a scamaz. Everybody's calling it a scam. I don't think it is. There's real people doing real work here. My real concern is in how many people are going to play the game. The whole space in general is on fire. you have a large gamer population right now that treats Web3 gaming, metaverse, like as poison, because a lot of them got rug pulled, or a lot of them don't even want to deal with it. Maybe a lot of people don't understand what it's going to bring. They don't understand Web3 as disruptive technology in a good way. And they don't understand cryptocurrencies, and all it is code. It's code. It's investable code. It's really, at the end of the day, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, digital assets, it's all investable code. You're not investing in Microsoft anymore. You're investing in Windows. Simple as that. That's all it is. That's all it is. Follow the code, see what code's going to be the most successful code. And that's, where I kind of gravitate to as a trader. But as a gamer, I'm telling you right now, you will not get adoption if you do not put this game first. Period. Put the game first always in the Web3 space. The developers that put the game first for the gamers, they're the ones that are going to be successful in the Web3 space. That's my words of advice for Star Atlas as an OG gamer. And as a trader, I'm telling you, if you want adoption, if you want people, if you want the gamer base, make it for the people. Make it for the game. The game. Always the game first. Digital assets, great. Great. Periphery. Game first. Plenty of people want to make money off of Atlas Coin. Plenty of people are out there in other games. All they care about is just making money in the coin. No. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You're not going to get the adoption. Want the adoption? Game first. Gamers first. And then you got yourself a success. I'm giving them props. I'm giving them props for building in hard times. Giving them props.